So I think you have to be creative and don't let oops, what if, oh my God, I might get my wrist slapped. There was one time in 2019 when I tried this and someone yelled at me, like, really, like, don't let those biases, make decisions for you.
I have to take it back to a story for regular listeners, probably heard this one before, but for the benefit of everyone else. I remember the first time I got into a really hardcore sales role, which was doing telephone sales. And the person reassured me that this is going to be a really good opportunity and that I'm just calling people back, that they
Right.
basically requested information online. And I remember the first call that I happened to do. The person I picked up the phone, or, I call, they answer, I say, "Hi, this is Jason from ABC Real Estate. I just want to let you know that I got your list of, your request to get a list of hot properties. And I just want to let you know you'll get it in the next 24 hours. Is that okay?" And then the response was supposed to be, "Yes, that's okay." Then I could get into my qualifying questions, but they just went, "Oh, that sounds good. Thanks." Click. And they hung up on me. And
Yeah.
I was faced with a choice of I never want to do a phone call again
I
because
know.
it sucks. And so
Yeah.
a lot of fear exists for people, especially at the beginning stages. Do you find that's even something that kind of shows a side of humanity at the beginning stages? If you're you're feeling like, okay, you're just new at the job, are there things you should be doing to overcome that really, really quickly?
Well, so I think the first thing is let's acknowledge that we're all humans, right? And maybe the game we have to play with ourselves is that if I'm fearful, is this a flag? And we don't know if it's a red flag or a green flag. Some people could take that story that you shared and be like, sweet, game on, right? They just dropped the gauntlet. Give me another phone number, right? And other people could use it to say, I'm never doing sales again. It's too hard. It's too emotional. And to a certain extent, there's bias in that. Again, my first response is just recognize you're allowed to have any response you want. I don't know anybody that needs to make a sole decision based on one instance, right? Like, as you can imagine, as you see on TV, there are lots of times a doctor, makes a mistake and someone does not survive, right? Now, if that doctor uses that first time as a reason to, I'm never going to be a doctor again, okay, I'll respect that. That's them being a human and recognizing what they deal with. But most doctors I know would be like empathetic, upset, want to learn from it, but they wouldn't stop doing surgery. And what we're doing is not surgery. It's, it's important stuff. I could flip the story and I won't in the moment, but I could easily say what we do is more productive to the world economy than what doctors and lawyers do. It just didn't take us a degree to do it. That's another conversation.
I might go down that conversation with you because my
point. my point is this is what I say. Give yourself a little bit of space and give yourself a little bit of grace to figure it out. Right? Like that's the key thing. And believe me, this is not a newbie salesperson issue. Everybody gets to it, right? Everybody gets to that point at any career, in any industry, at anything where they're just like, I can't do this anymore, right? I can't be a waiter or a waitress anymore. I can't be a starving artist or an actor or an actress. I can't be a salesperson. I don't want to be a doctor. My cousin went to, had a great degree and became an architect, like working in New York City. And in his late 20s, he decided to be a doctor. He just decided that architecture was not for him. So we all have that moment. So give yourself that space and that grace to be a human and acknowledge your feelings. And on the flip side, when you're thinking about your customers or your prospects, maybe you got them on a bad day, give them the space and grace that, that you're sure they're going to hang up on you. And, it's just like, okay. I had one rep. I don't encourage this. I do not. I had one rep at a job who literally, if someone hung up on him, he would call back and he'd say, oh my gosh, I think we got disconnected. I may have run over my phone cord in my wheelchair. And he was not in a wheelchair. Yeah. For those who don't know, Jason's mouth is wide open like a fish going, oh my gosh. So he's like flabbergasted.
Well,
But
this is definitely in the gray area of sales.
yes, I'm not a fan of that technique. I do not like lying. I do not think that's appropriate. I do not think that you should manipulate people like that. I'm just telling a story. People can take it for what they want.
Thank you so much for listening to the Selling with Love podcast. We have some previous episodes you can tune into right here. And if you prefer the short form content where you get to the point in under 10 minutes, we do have a ton of clips from our best episodes that are being shared on this channel as well. So pick which one supports you the most. And of course, thank you for liking, subscribing, and of course, selling with love.